Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with our REDI Commission meeting. Welcome everybody here tonight. Thank you for coming out. It's a little bit chilly out there, so we appreciate you all being here. We'll go ahead and we'll start our meeting with the flag salute, and Commissioner Pastorian will go ahead and do the flag salute.
Absolutely. Please stand, place your right hand over your heart, and ready and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and now we'll move on to our roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Deutsch? Commissioner Eventov is absent. Vice Chair Faulkner?
Here.
Commissioner Electors is absent. Commissioner Pastorian?
Here.
Chair Steed?
Present.
And Commissioner Wilson?
Here.
Thank you.
Perfect. And do we have any public comments for tonight?
We do not.
Okay. Well, we're going to shake up our agenda a little bit because it's the first meeting of the year and we like to shake things up. As you know, it is January, and every January we get a new chair of this commission. So we're going to go ahead and do that part of the meeting ahead of where we thought we were going to do it, and kick our new year off. So I would like to go ahead and make a motion that Mr. Commissioner Eric Faulkner is our chair and Commissioner Pastorian is our vice chair. So I'd like to make that motion. Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay, I'll go ahead and take a roll call vote for the motion of chair to be Eric Faulkner and vice chair to be Crystal Pastorian. Commissioner Deutsch?
Yes.
Vice Chair Faulkner?
Aye.
Commissioner Pastorian?
Aye.
Chair Steed?
Aye.
And Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
And that passes. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Well, since we all have new roles, yay. We'll go ahead and change seats, as we do.
That's a good suggestion.
Exactly. I want to be by you in the morning way. You suck.
You know your mic is on while you're talking.
Exactly. I want everybody to hear me.
Hasn't come over here. Eric, come.
She want everybody.
He's,
Just them?
Yeah, just slide on.
You too.
come on, slide over.
You
slide
can't do the picture
over.
without
Slide
you.
over with your chair. You just gotta be.
Thanks, sir. All right. Thank you so much, Erica. If you don't mind if I make a couple of comments before we move forward.
Sure, and then we can just go to the vote for the action minutes.
All right, great. So I just want to say this has been a great journey for all of us. Some of us have been here from the beginning, Jackie, Denise, myself, Crystal, and then we brought on the amazing Stacia, Lyman, and Adam along with us. So I just want to give homage to those chairs before me who've actually did a great job in running the REDI Commission. So with Commissioner Harris, not Commissioner Harris, but first Commissioner, I want to go all the way back. Commissioner Baker as our first actual chair, rolling right into Miss Denise Wilson, did an amazing job, and then right into Jackie, who did an awesome job. And throughout their term, they've done an amazing job in regards to dealing with adversity, challenges against us as a REDI Commission, and who we are and what we stand for and what we're trying to do for the community, and we overcame that. One of the things I always say, we are built for this. We've been made to actually be in this position and engage with our community, and actually, we love being in this position. A lot of people don't put in for commissioner positions. It's less than, way less than 1% of the residents in our city apply. And guess what? They do it out of the kindness of their heart. They do it because they have a passion for our city and its opportunities and its traditions to continue to make sure Temecula is a place not just for me, but for everybody. And that's every demographic, from every subset of our community. We are here to ensure that we engage to make sure they have a space and they have a voice. And that's what the REDI Commission is really about. So I want to thank you, Commissioner Steed, by the chair prior to me, and I appreciate you leaving this seat in a good place and for me to step in and actually fill your shoes. So thank you for your leadership over 2023, and I'm looking forward to continue to working with us as we continue to march a path in 2024. So thank you all, and really appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Thank you. All right, so again, I guess we'll go into approve the action minutes. All right. So I motion that we approve the action minutes for November 9th, 2023.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Chair Faulkner and a second by Commissioner Steed. Roll call vote. Commissioner Deutsch,
Aye.
Chair Faulkner,
Aye.
Commissioner Pastorian,
Aye.
Commissioner Steed, and
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So now we'll move on to the business aspects of our meeting today. And do we have a presentation prepared today, Erica?
Yes, we do, from Riverside University Health System Foundation.
Okay, great. You can come on up to the mic, introduce yourself, and let us know what you're going to be presenting today.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm Karina Watt. I'm the Director of Development for RUHS Foundation, Riverside University Health System Foundation. And congratulations to both the chair and vice chair on your new roles.
Thank you.
We wish you a great year ahead. And thank you so much for having us tonight. We're really excited to share information about the foundation, who we are, and the work that we support. Is it okay to go ahead and get started?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So RUHS was founded 30 years ago, but before I go into the foundation, I'd like to share a little bit more about who RUHS is. RUHS is the public safety net system for the county. And so under that umbrella of a health safety net system, we have public health, behavioral health, and we also have the medical center where the foundation is located. And we have 13 community health clinics that are spread out through the county, from basically Corona to Indio. So these pictures here are our facility in Moreno Valley. That's a part of our hospital to the right. And to the left is our medical surgical center, which holds many clinics and also outpatient surgeries that take place there. And that building was opened in 2020, one of our newest additions. And this is just a campus overview of RUHS. We are continuing to grow and do expect that campus to expand. But every community that I come out and talk to, I like to share what our footprint, or RUHS's footprint is here in your community. Temecula doesn't have a community health clinic that RUHS has, but the closest ones would be Hemet and also the city of Lake Elsinore. However, we do have behavioral health clinics here. And so one of them is handling peer support. They have, they have a few different things. They have peer support, they have the adult behavioral health clinics, and there's just several treatment and treatment programs that exist there. We also have the Temecula Children's Mental Health Clinic that is serving children in your community. And we also have the Temecula Day Reporting Center, and this is a multi-agency that works with probation and a few others to make sure that they are supporting people who are re-entering the community and making sure that they are not a reoffending by providing support services, substance abuse, prevention, and things of that or nature. Also, I want to share that any of our services are just a click away. If you went to ruhs.org, you could put in what you're looking for, whether it's immunization, or you're looking for a community health clinic, or you're looking for behavioral health services. You could put that in and find the nearest location within the county. So some other things about RUHS, and specifically the medical center and the clinics, is we're a really old hospital and locally owned, so to speak. So we've been around for 130 years. We're one of the longest hospitals that's a teaching facility. So we also have a lot of residents that come through and are getting their experience there. We're also a level 1 trauma center. And we're also the only pediatric ICU in the region. So even if you're not coming to get care at our hospital, or you're insured and your insurance isn't accepted there, or you have your own doctor at Kaiser or whatever it might be, if you have a child that experienced a certain level of trauma, they would end up in our ICU if they needed that high level of care for pediatrics. We also have NICU, but there are a few other NICUs within the county. Here's just some quality metrics that we have, or the RUHS has been awarded with, from baby friendly to diabetes to a multitude of different recognitions. RUHS is really continuing to strive to provide quality care. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about who the foundation is. So the foundation has been around for 30 years, and we are a distinct and separate agency than RUHS, but we are very intertied and connected because we are serving that health system. So everything we're doing is going back into the communities that they serve. And like many nonprofits, we also have a board. Our board is about 24 members, and they are diverse and come from different backgrounds, and they all provide different input and enthusiasm, and they definitely help us continue our mission. And here's a few of our board members. A lot of them are community members that you may even know, and they're just, if you look at their areas of expertise or what their backgrounds were, I mean, we have bankers to community leaders to law offices to all different type of fields that represent our board. So what does RUHS Foundation do? Well, originally, we were founded to support pediatric work in the pediatric unit, including child abuse and neglect. And we have grown, but I will say we continue to be, or pediatrics is still the soul of the foundation. That is something that is our major goals to work on, but we have continued to grow. So as those new initiatives have came around, some of that growth has been in women's health. And we have a initiative that we were able to partner with First Five Riverside, and that was a partnership for her care, which is for high-risk pregnancies. And so that is trying to expand our reach and make sure that we're getting to a woman who may be going to a community health clinic in Indio who needs high-risk care, but are high-risk care doctors in Moreno Valley. So we are expanding that through telehealth. We are expanding that through equipment to make sure that we are able to break those barriers for people who need additional health care who maybe not have transportation or can get to that doctor in Moreno Valley, but that he could still provide that health care to that family and to that patient. We're also expanding in trauma, and trauma specifically into research. So we know that a lot of the doctors that come through residencies or even attracting quality doctors want the opportunity to do research, to publish research. And so we are trying to support that so that they can actually do some of that work. And that's great for all of us. That's great for us because that brings it here to our region and our community and county. So we continue to do much more. Recently, we became cancer accredited, and we are working with a lot of local donors and supporters to continue providing care for our fusion center and making sure that we are able to provide those additional comforts that we may not otherwise be able to do without some of our donors. We also have brought in different equipment and helped to expand that. The doctor up in the right looking at that screen of an x-ray is actually one of our forensic pediatricians in our child and abuse neglect unit, and we were, through our donors, able to help provide specific equipment that helps him identify breaks and bones on things like that. So also, our mobile health clinic is something else that the foundation is supporting, and that goes out into our communities, into our school-age children, and making sure that we can provide behavioral health opportunities for families that don't have the ability to get to an appointment. I mean, I know when we come from different cities that are much more larger, there are some real rural parts of our county still that have these barriers to transportation. And so this is something that the foundation is able to do. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about Riverside County Child Assessment Center, which is this building, or this room here you can see to the right, because this is the child abuse and neglect unit, and they do service children here in Temecula. So this is a multi-agency program through the child abuse and neglect unit that we also work with our county sheriff, we work with any local PDs, we work with CPS, behavioral health, to make sure that we are wrapping around any child that comes through there to make sure we can either get them justice or be able to serve them. And so forensic interviews do take place there, and so do forensic exams. And originally, they were located in the basement of the hospital, and through our advocacy and through our donors, we were able to move them into a new spot on our campus that's open with light. We were able to get furniture, and everything in that space is 100% donor funded. So we really appreciate our community and our businesses and all that kind of come out to do that, because any child that goes through an incident that they're gonna be coming here for, whether it's an interview or a physical exam, we didn't want them to start in the basement of a hospital where our morgue is located. It just was not the right place, and we were so happy that in September of 2021, we were able to open that up. Here's a few other pictures up on the top that are a part of RCAT. And below are some of the other things that we do on our pediatric unit. So a lot of what's in our NICU is definitely funded by the foundation, from kangaroo chairs to giraffe beds to our cribs. We definitely try to make sure that we can improve those items or supplement where the county may be needing that help. But of course, we are not limited to just indoors, other than I do have the artwork there on the bottom corner. But we are also working through our donors to facilitate putting out different areas for respite. So during 2020, obviously a lot of healthcare workers were working constantly. It was a tiring time, but it was also, even for patients, hard to always be indoors. And we needed help to improve the space around the hospital. Lowe's has been coming out for 3 years in a row, and it's something that the Lowe's Home Care Heroes program does, and they come out, they plant, they bring the items. So a lot of it is in kind, but it makes such a difference. It makes a difference for our healthcare providers, but it makes a difference for our patients who are there for a longer stay to be able to go out into a garden or into a space where they can have a moment of fresh air and sunlight. So we're definitely happy for that. Another area that the foundation oversees is grants. So we are administering and managing grants for the health system, and that's from supporting our emergency department, medical research, behavioral health, our mobile health, and also education. So that's a big component for us since we are a teaching hospital and we have a simulation lab. So those are things that we're even actively looking for to try to secure for the hospital. Another area we'd like to share is our Festival of Trees. This is our signature fundraiser, and it's almost as old as our foundation itself. And all of the funds or proceeds that go, or that we receive from that evening, go to our pediatric work. And here's just some pictures of past events, and it is just really well attended. We have several volunteers that help us put this on. Our trees are always very unique and beautiful. We have volunteers who have been volunteering the entire time that this festival has been going on, and just making our trees beautiful, making the event wonderful, and I encourage you all to come next year, or this year. So that is our donor event, and the Festival of Trees Holiday Fair is actually open to the public. So the amount of work that goes into some of our trees, we don't want it just to be seen by our donors, but obviously the public. And so this is something that we do to also bring awareness of who we are and the work that's going on, and we open it up to families. And this is always the weekend after Thanksgiving, and we always have a Santa, or try to, and people come out and do their Christmas photos there, and it's a really great event. But again, everything that we are raising through the Festival of Trees is to support RUHS's pediatric work. So it goes right back into the hospital or into other components that are serving children. And in all the years, we have upgraded equipment, we have purchased new things, and we continue to do that. And so we also have our NICU giraffe shuttle, and which is one baby, one bed, and we also have the NICU crash cart, which is definitely important when we're dealing with preemies who are in critical state. So we're very happy that we were able to purchase those things. Here we have our NICU refresh, which is something that we have worked on from 2022's Festival of Trees. And this was something that we worked with our pediatric chair at the time to talk about what are we going to do. We presented to our board, and they voted yes, we want to do a NICU refresh. So beyond just the colors and the art, they also did a noise dampening system, because they find that children that are born early have some brain development issues that we have to be sensitive to, and one of them is being sensitive to noise, to making sure they have that ability to recover. And so I don't have pictures here of the noise dampening system, but it will be on the very top. And what's it's going to do is, once the noise reaches a certain decibel level, it will then dampen and quiet the room naturally. So when mothers are in there, or fathers or family members with the newborns, once it gets to a certain level, it'll automatically dim lights and kind of make it'll naturally quiet you down without anyone kind of walking around. And we feel like naturally it will keep that decibel level lower. One thing I do want to share too is just to kind of give you a snapshot of our Festival of Trees. Since 2019, we have raised $4 million. So this event has been around it'll be our 35th year in November, but just from that time alone, it's really been the fundraiser that's implemented a lot of critical programs and services. This past festival, we focused on behavioral health, pediatric behavioral health, because increasingly since 2020, there has been an increase in the need to serve pediatric patients. We have a lot of young kids that are suicidal and have different tendencies that need to be addressed. And you can see towards the left, this was a story of a mother and daughter that was a part of our Fund a Need story, but it was a patient that went through our behavioral health system in Indio. And her daughter, at the time that she entered into behavioral health system, was 8 years old, but she was cutting herself and doing other self-harming activities, and which I know my youngest is 10, and when I heard this story and thought, no, this is a story we need to tell, because I wouldn't even know how to handle that with such a young child. You just don't expect someone who's still in elementary school to be facing those things, and she did, and they went through the program and it turned it around. She's now in middle school and thriving. But we have a lot of supportive services, not just for the child, but for the parents, the family members, the caregivers, and we have peer support so that a parent knows what, or can get the expertise from someone who's already went through it themselves. So it was definitely a very touching story, and we were happy to share the success of her outcome. Here's another fundraiser that we do. It's with KB Homes, and we always have it in September. And last year we raised over $200,000, and this is a third party. This is KB. They do this. They do it with their partners, and they have supported us for over 17 years. This coming September will be 18, and they have done so many different things throughout our campus and supported many initiatives, and so we definitely appreciate them. And our annual Pinwheels for Prevention campaign is a newer campaign of ours. It's about 3 years old. And a lot of times people will ask me, well, why Pinwheels? And Pinwheels is during the month of April, the Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month. Pinwheels is a national symbol, and it's a national campaign for child abuse prevention and awareness. And so we really just embraced that and said, let's make our own here and make sure that people are aware. There are a lot of programs that the county provides. There's a lot of programs that our community partners in the county provide. And this event is really a two-prong, or this campaign is really a two-prong approach. We want to bring awareness to families who may be in crisis, and to be able to let them know this is where you can go for help, and these are the agencies that can help you. But we also know without any funding, we can't always make real changes. So this is about 3 years old, and what we do focus on is foster youth, and we also focus on RCAT, our Child Abuse and Prevention. And so this event, our Celebration of Hope, is our donor event. So all our donors that support us, we go out to Wilson Creek, and for the past 2 years, that's where we've been able to hold it. And again, April 18th, 2024, we're gonna have it again. And we look forward to that. It's a very nice event, and we enjoy having our partners out there that are supporting children. So Pinwheels also has, again, that awareness component. This past year, we had billboards that were really trying to direct people to county resources, to community resources, and we also did a stop campaign. And we did that with some of our local leaders, our county leaders, and our community leaders, and just trying to promote the awareness to help prevention. And I would like to go ahead and share a video with you. And this is from our last Pinwheels for Prevention. I'm not sure if I can start that there. I might, oh, there it is, sorry. you know what? It looks like the narration isn't there, so I'll probably go ahead and stop it. I apologize. It's narrated, but I guess that's not on there. So I'll go ahead and move on. So recently, just over a year ago, our UHS Foundation entered into an MOU with the Department of Public Social Services, specifically to help with children who are entering into the foster care system. So that is something that our Pinwheels for Prevention is also advocating for, is to make sure that we can help fund any of those gaps of need for our foster care kids. And as you know, foster care is anywhere from newborn to late teens to even early adulthood. So there is just a wide range of needs. Here's some numbers that I did get from the Department of Public Social Services. These might be about 2 years old now, but they just strike me as to really see the needs that are here within our county. And Temecula does have a CPS center here. So, you know, there is an intake center here that we also work with. So if you look at the hotline calls, that's over 66,000 calls of potential unsubstantiated cases where they're calling with a concern for a child's welfare. But if you look at the other corner there, with 59% of calls that are reported, you know, there is some sort of maltreatment where they may be being removed. And that time could be short, or it could be long. And so what we really try to focus on is helping those kids that are gonna find themselves in the foster system and supporting different initiatives, even if they're not ours, and to making sure that we are really wrapping around those kids and letting them know that we know it does take a village. It is not just that CPS is doing it or their foster parents, but that it's all of us caring about the welfare of those children. One thing that was born out of that partnership was Birthday Circle. We actually work with someone who was 20 plus years working for CPS, and now she's came over to help us with this program. And so one of the things she really told us is that so many kids are forgotten about, or they're moved around, or they could be placed with grandma who's on a fixed income and she can't afford to really do much for their birthday. But one thing we all know and agree is that self-esteem and self-worth are important in making a difference in a child's life and making them go on a right path and choose those right decisions as they continue to go on in life. And that is something that we thought we're gonna go ahead and do, and we wanna make sure that they're not forgotten. We want them to know, we know you're here and we care about you. And so we are working in regions with different, the county is separated in regions for the Department of Public Social Services. So we're working directly to make sure that we get a list of those foster kids that are having birthdays, and we're working with different community partners to help us with cards, to help us with cookies, to help us with, can you give us a gift certificate to get them a new pair of shoes, whatever it might be. And so we're really trying to champion that in every division and region so that local businesses can be a part of that and know who's in their community as well, and definitely have that outreach. Another thing that we're accepting is in-kind donations for foster youth. So here's one of our residents that actually is a doctor, and you know, she's like, hey, I hear you're collecting things. And so they're collecting new backpacks, socks, hygiene kits, and then we're able to directly deliver it to intake facilities. The one that's there is in Moreno Valley, but we have spread them all the way throughout multiple ones depending on what type of in-kind donations we've received. So it's been a very rewarding program that we've been able to do. Here are some of our supporters. Some names you may know, maybe some you don't. We're always looking for people to take an interest, and these are some of our larger supporters, but We do large and small. So up on the left-hand corner is one of the local cupcake and espresso in the city of Moreno Valley. They started selling our pinwheels during Pinwheels for Prevention for $5 and letting all the proceeds go back to us. And so it's just one thing. We were able to provide information about child abuse, neglect, and prevention and awareness through them, but then also to help with our campaign. And so we definitely appreciate all of our partners, large and small, because collectively we all make the difference. So that's just a little bit about them and that program there. And I'd just like to say thank you to all of you for allowing me to come out tonight and share more about our UHS Foundation and the work that we're supporting. And I invite you to come out for a tour and come see us in person, or my door is always open if you'd like to grab a cup of coffee. I'm always here to share more, and thank you for your time this evening. Is there any questions?
So we'd like to first of all, thank you. And by the way, can I just say, Eric has turned me right into the chair. He walked out the door and voila, now I'm just, here it is. Anyway, your presentation is phenomenal. You are doing incredible work in the region, and it is definitely visible through your presentation, but your passion in that it comes through very well as well. Open it up to
Thank you.
Commissioner comments.
Yes, first of all, I also ditto what she said. It's just an awesome presentation. Thank you so much for being here. A lot of this
pleasure.
information I had no idea, but I made a couple of notes here. First of all, I know I would like to take you up on that tour, so we'll have to talk
Okay.
after this.
Okay.
And then I wanted to, about the birthday circle. I know you do that in the region. Are we doing that in our area? Do we have any kids, foster kids, that could benefit from the birthday circle?
Yes, so you can count on almost anywhere in the county, there's gonna be foster kids. And there is a local DPSS, CPS office here that is an intake center, and they also do visitations. So you're going to have families that are coming into that to meet with the parent that is no longer in custody or doing those types of visitations. So yes, there is a need here, and there are children here.
Okay, so you could probably give that information to Erica, and she can
We
let us
definitely could
know.
follow up and get you that information.
That'll be great. And then also another question, you probably had this answer to, the in-kind donation for the youth. Definitely, we can get that information and we can help in that area also.
Wonderful. We will
Yeah.
definitely let you know more about that.
Thank you. And then, you know what, the last thing, you really touched my heart about the young kids, the young lady that was cutting herself in junior high school. Because 2 years ago, I had a niece at 16, she started cutting herself too. And we didn't realize what was going on, but we had to look into getting some services. And so I'm so glad that we do have services and that we can identify them as early as junior high school, because it becomes a pattern. And I think because we didn't identify it sooner, it led to that. So it's good to know that you guys have things in place for younger kids like that, because it does happen a lot.
Yes, and we definitely, our patient population is the underinsured and uninsured, and so we always want to make sure that there's resources for those families and children, because a lot of time they have the greatest needs. I mean, some of the patients don't go for their yearly exams, and there's things until a problem comes up, but specifically for behavioral health, we want to make sure that they know they have access to health and to help to get that. So, and that is here in your city. So,
Definitely. And I know I can speak for my fellow commissioners, that's a passion for us. Those are in the families that are in areas that can't get to the doctors every day or can't have the care that other people, is a luxury, for them. So that's a passion that we have. So anywhere that we can help as a commission, we're there.
wonderful. Thank
Definitely.
you so much
Thank
for your
you.
support.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Alrighty, so I just want to get some clarification that you guys are there for the uninsured or the underinsured. And so do families have to qualify to utilize your services or to utilize the grants that your services gives?
Well, it depends on what program you would be speaking about. For instance, our CAT that I mentioned, which is Child Abuse and Neglect Unit, no one asks you for your insurance if you go there. If there is a child in need, that is something that will not be asked, because we want to make sure there's absolutely no barriers to those children to make sure that they can access that care. So that is something that actually RUHS makes sure to fund. Now, we fund what that experience is like. There would be no art on the wall. There would be no colorful furniture if it was left up to the county, because they have to, focus on the critical needs and services. And so that's where we're able to elevate those experiences and help, provide a better place to start their healing. But for instance, you could have insurance and go there and, go through that process and not be asked anything about that. And sometimes people who are insured do find themselves in our hospital through the ER, through, like I mentioned, pediatric ICU. That's not necessarily going to be limited to some of those other patients. And, IHP, Molina are typically our patient population, so that's who's kind of coming in to see us. But we also have patients who have absolutely no health care, or they have MISP, which is kind of a safety net if you can't qualify for straight Medi-Cal or IHP and those things. And we do have sometimes people who are going through our health care. Recently, I had a patient that I became aware of because they needed some extra help they were looking for some extra help, but they didn't have anything, but they were going through our infusion center for cancer treatment. So we really just have an array of needs and definitely try to help where we can.
Okay, and then also for your behavioral health clinic, is it the same thing there, or whether you will help people whether they have insurance or not? Just because we have a clinic here in town, that would be good information to get out there.
You know what, I could double check, but I believe it is consistently the same.
Okay.
I don't know what's available here in Temecula as far as other than RUHS behavioral health. So I would rather make sure that I give you the correct information if you wanted to share that, so that I'm not, I don't believe they take anything else. I believe it's all just gonna be, our IHP, Molina, Medi-Cal. But I can double check to make sure. That way, if you want to share that with the community, I make sure that that's correct.
Great, and do you guys advertise your services through the county? Are you independent, advertising it independently? It's like for us to, as a city, to be able to link those services for our constituents, how do we go about that?
So RUHS is the county.
Okay.
So there was some rebranding a couple years ago, and Riverside University Health System was the name that they came up with, because there is some element of our teaching hospital and those things. But these all used to be county behavioral health, county hospitals. So it's just a way. It's also, it's not just the name change, but it was also to be reflective of integration, and that we are all working together as one health system through public health, behavioral health, the medical center. And so that was the name change was also a part of reflecting of that integrative healthcare system. And but yeah, did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you did. I just wanted to make sure that kind of the people that live in our community know where to go for help, or if they have questions, that they know where the resources are. So I think that's really important. But yes, thank you.
Yeah, I can definitely follow up and make sure we get you the accurate information, or maybe even some direct links to that,
Okay.
if there's anything I can help with that.
Great, and then just the last thing, your mobile health clinic, Riverside's a big county, so how does that work? Is it by appointment?
It's, I think, varying by needs. So if there's a community that is underserved and they have a lot of metrics, whether behavioral health or the medical, like the hospital maybe say, oh, we need to kind of come out into this area. But it does go to many places. A lot of them are even at elementary schools where they do therapy, and the caregiver or the parent comes along with the child, and they do it right there in the mobile health unit. So it just varies on the needs. Did you see a need, or do you have?
No,
any-
just for information for us, so we have that. We just kind of wonder, like, how prevalent is it that it comes out here and provides those services to our community, just so our people know that it's around and that it's
Definitely,
available.
and if it's coming out to Temecula, we can make sure to get you that information, so
Okay.
you'll be able to share it when it's coming.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Commissioner Steed. Commissioner Dorsey, you have anything?
Yeah, I told you, these are my favorite nights. I love
Great.
getting a chance to really dig into something and hear what you're doing. And I think that the other commissioners have mentioned ways that we can try and elevate the presence of what you're doing here in our community. I had one question, which is about transportation services. Because we have limited resources here through the Riverside University Health System, are there buses or other transportations or volunteer that can help take people to other resources if they need them?
That RUHS would
Yeah,
provide?
RUHS, yes.
You know, I'm not aware of any. I can ask those departments or divisions. I can find out whether or not there are anything, but none that I'm aware of.
All right, I had another question about translation services.
We do.
You do provide translation
Yes.
services, I would assume so, okay.
Yes, we have a full translation, language and cultural services, and actually that is under our Director of Operations at the foundation. So she has multiple hats, but that is something that comes under there, and we definitely have multiple languages that we're serving.
Okay, I hope that you'll reach out to us and let us know where it
Yes,
is
I would
that we
love
can
to.
help you.
I would love to.
And
Yes,
I'm
we
with-
appreciate that.
I'm with the others. Invite us for a tour.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Exactly. We're
I
all
think
together.
it'll be a field trip.
We come for
We're
a
all
trip.
in.
We're gonna bum
Thank you
rush.
again.
Thank you.
And then
Really good
also
presentation.
invite us to Wilson Creek on April the 18th.
Oh, you better believe it.
I've already put it on my calendar.
All right, thanks, Commissioner Dorsey. Thank you. So, Vice Chair Pastorian.
Thank you. So again, like I said in the beginning, very powerful. Your work is incredible when you are so focused on pediatrics and what that covers, and making sure that, I mean, the umbrella that you're talking about is huge, right? So I am sure that it takes more than just one village to cover all the areas that you are covering in terms of need. I have two questions for you. One, just because it just kind of coincides with where we just left off in terms of the mobile unit. How are those areas of need identified?
You know what, I am not a part of identifying those needs, so I am a little reluctant into saying how exactly that's done in case I'm leaving a piece out. But I know those departments, and when I say departments, I'm saying behavioral health or the medical center, are looking at data to make sure, is this an area of need? Or it could be something that they become aware of. But I'm with the foundation, and I don't make those determinations. I just know that we are deploying them in a lot of areas that are harder or have barriers to transportation or have a high need of, maybe it's immunization or there's a behavioral health need and they are out. But we do have 5 of those mobile health units. So they are being deployed throughout the county. So it could be here, it could have came here already. I can definitely find out and make sure to provide you the accurate information.
Yeah, I'm curious from the perspective of, I'm intrigued by what you said in terms of being able to provide those services right there at a school, right? Certainly at an elementary school where, it becomes that one-stop shop, right? It's very convenient. There's not a lot, you're removing a lot of barriers by doing that. And if there is a need and it's based on title schools and such, I'm curious to know how those two entities are speaking. And where is it at that point up to a district to say, hey, we have a need, or and so what are those protocols so that everyone is being reached essentially?
What I can tell you is that behavioral health is in a lot of our schools. And I actually didn't ask them before tonight to find out if they are here in Temecula, but they may be. And that can be in many forms, from Friday Night Live to providing different services. I know we have the TOPS program in Hemet that we're working with at, I want to say, Hemet High School. And so there's a lot of different programs where we're trying to make sure that they are integrated or working with schools on behavioral health issues and needs of children. So it could stem from that. It could stem like, hey, we've had an influx of a certain incident or something that's happening where they feel like that's going to be important to do. But I do know regarding mobile health when it comes out for behavioral health treatment, that some of the experts in behavioral health that I've talked to said that the reason why that's so critical is because they know that some families will say, yeah, we'll come back for care, we'll come back for that appointment, and they just don't make it there. But most people do still make it to school. And so they felt like if we can cut down that barrier for that family, whether maybe it's not just transportation, maybe it's just it's harder to do, it's not something in their routine, but we're providing that opportunity for them to get that support and therapy. That's, it's critical, and that's what we're supporting. So we aren't, the foundation doesn't deliver the work. We get to indirectly help in those ways by hearing what the needs are in our community, hearing what the needs are within our UHS, and then trying to find our partners to help us champion and fill those needs.
Perfect. And so if you, as you learn that information or come across it, if you could forward it, that'd be great.
I would love to, and
just
I'll
so
make
that
sure to
we
leave my
know.
card so we
Please
can
do.
communicate,
Yeah.
and I'll get you those answers,
That would
definitely.
be great. The other question is, there are correlations that we've seen. We have data, obviously, that shows direct impact between mental health issues, behavioral health issues, and our special needs community. And so when you talk about partnerships as well, do you have partnerships currently, or are you striving for partnerships with entities that support the special needs community?
Definitely, and behavioral health may already have them. Again, I can't speak specifically for them, but we would definitely be interested in engaging with any agencies that are doing that, because that is another population we would serve, their children. So definitely.
Perfect. Okay. I mean, again, I am in awe at the work that you're doing. It's a lot, and it's just very multifaceted. I don't know how you have the manpower or the
We have a
people.
team.
And I guess lastly, the question is, as a teaching facility, really, are you providing the ability to come out to the community to provide those educational services before they're needed, so that there's a level of awareness to the community that it exists?
I'm sorry, in what regard? As the hospital teaching, or?
All of it. I mean, just in general. Both the behavioral health, foundation, and then the mobile units, all of the pieces that are kind of together, and how they service this region and area. I think some people obviously know, but I'm learning tonight just exactly, what you're all about and how much more you can provide. And I think that there's a community as well out there that would be very interested to know, certainly here, that this exists and what services are there, and how do we get that word out?
Well, we can definitely work on that together. I'm not sure if anyone's ever came out to Temecula. I mean, I can't, this is the first time I know the foundation's been out, to my knowledge. But behavioral health is probably making different, or talking to different schools. We just are such a large organization. I can't say if that has happened or hasn't. But if you hear a need, or you think this is a great place for either the foundation or specifically behavioral health or public health, or any of our partners under RUHS is needed, I mean, I would definitely help you facilitate getting in touch with the right and appropriate staff person to kind of come out and talk about whatever those needs might be.
Perfect. I think that'd be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Vice Chair, and appreciate all the questions from all our commissioners. And I'll close out with just a couple of things, because I've been scratching off as they've been hitting all my points. So
Well, that's great.
I'm not going to go over it again. So exactly. So behavioral health has been a huge conversation in our city, and I don't know what you've heard and the challenges you've had, trying to bring behavioral health to communities, and some subset of the community saying there's things that it brings to communities that are negative and bad. So I wanted, since you've been working in this space, and I want to just prick your brain on how that conversation has been had as you've tried to expand on the resources and provide that support for our community that needs it. What has been the challenges from communities that say, hey, we shouldn't have this here? So if you can
Commissioner Faulkner?
Yes.
This is Executive Director Joel. I'm sorry that I can't be there tonight with you all. The foundation's work is separate from behavioral health work. And given that this topic is going to be becoming potentially before commissions and the city council, I would strongly recommend that the commission, while asking general questions about behavioral health, and for example, the behavioral health services in the schools is fine. I would strongly recommend that the commission refrain from speaking about behavioral health services and challenges that we have been facing in our own community at this time.
Outstanding, way to keep me on track. You know,
Yes, sir.
she's all hidden and then jumping in like a ninja and then putting me back on, okay. So.
Great question, though.
Great question, but we'll save it because we're gonna be working through some things here.
Okay.
So don't wanna put you on the spot with that as well. So in regards to what you do, and I saw the child services, and going through COVID, coming out of COVID, you know, our kids have been struggling. And I noticed, as you explained it seems as there's been an uptick since that, and if you could just talk to that in regards to what you guys are doing and just
Well,
what you're seeing in that space.
Yeah, definitely. So that is obviously, I am not a pediatrician or
Right.
in behavioral health, but that is something that we do hear from our doctors and people in the behavioral health system is they are seeing an increase since 2020. You know, is that a result of the pandemic? Is it a result of increased social media? You know, I think there's a multitude of reasons why that can happen. But I think even for myself, I've noticed differences in my children prior the pandemic and after, just being more homebodied, like having to pull them out of the house. And I do think that all those things play a factor in our children. And so basically it's for us to try to make sure that we can help them get through that. And so we definitely know that there's an increase statistically, and the data does show that. And that was really the driver for us with our last Festival of Trees, is we knew that behavioral health was what we wanted to focus on for that evening. And it really wasn't that hard to find a patient story. That's, I guess, what was, you know, alarming is that actually the child was 8 years old, so she was in elementary school when her issues started. She's now entering into 6th grade. And that was really shocking to me, you know, and you're like, okay, we need to champion this because there are many more stories of families like hers, and we wanted to make sure that we were gonna be able to help promote any help that we can, and making sure that we can help fill those gaps for those kids that are having that situation. So definitely an increase.
Well, thank you so much, and I don't belabor the conversation, but we just really want to appreciate you for what the association does to try to help to expand the health services to the underserved, to the rural areas that are really specifically hurting to get that. I saw you talk about the telehealth. You know, I work in the VA. I'm a veteran and work in healthcare as well sometimes, but you know, telehealth definitely makes a difference in regards to the transportation issues you're seeing. Those who need transportation can't get there. Telehealth definitely meets that block, and how you guys expand that through the association. So we just really appreciate what you do. Thanks for coming here today. Thanks for providing a brief, very informative. We have a lot of questions to come back to you. I'm sure Advisor Ramirez is taking everything down over there in the notes, but we definitely want to see how we could work with you to expand things and actually be there to hear more about you, so we know more about you, so when we're out in the communities doing our REDI Commission's responsibilities, we're sharing that information and letting people know that you're here and you're here to support as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all. It was a pleasure to be here, and we appreciate you talking about us and sharing information. I mean, that's part of the reason why we like to come out and talk, because we all know, we all have different networks, and it's good to spread that information. We want people to know where to go to get help, and we appreciate your support. So thank you so much, and we'll be in touch with those other questions.
And before you leave, I forgot to say, Commissioners, any more questions, any save rounds, anything like that? Okay, great. Silence means accept.
Okay.
All right, so we're good.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, Advisor Ramirez, is there anything else before we go into Commissioner reports?
Nope.
All right, thank you so much. So at this point in time, we hadn't had a meeting in December, so I'm sure everybody's ready to talk about what they've done in that month. So we'll start with Commissioner Dosh, and then work our way around. So with our commissioner reports, you got it.
Time went by really fast. Well, I want to thank everybody from the city who helped with the float and the parade, because that was super
was fun. That was crazy fun.
I think Commissioner Faulkner shook every hand of everyone out there.
Yes.
Yeah, you get an award for that. But that was really fun, and it was the first time that I had been part of the parade, and so that was terrific. And meeting a lot of people. I think as the holidays came and we've kind of been moving into this period for the new year, I've been really self-focused on making sure that I go to small, independently owned businesses here in the Temecula Valley and in Temecula City, and immigrant-owned businesses, to make sure that when we're buying gifts and getting in the spirit of the holidays and the new year, that we are also focused on promoting those voices from within our own community. And I hope other people will rush off and do that just as the year goes by. There was one other thing I thought of, and it is gone, so circle back to me. I'm really looking forward to 2024. Like, the commission has been terrific. I'm looking forward to the slate of speakers. I'm really anxious to get back to the proclamations and getting the students in here again. So I'm grateful for the year that has been, but I have great energy for the year that is coming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Doris. Commissioner Wilson?
Great, thank you. So, yeah, we have to think back, 2 months? But we had a great time, we did, with the parade, and yes, Commissioner Faulkner, Chair Faulkner, shook everyone's hand, even the little kids. I think they ran to him, they thought he was Santa Claus, but that's a whole nother story. I do want to say that my family and I were out at a Rotary-sponsored event to feed families on Christmas morning, and I think Julie knows that they fed about 1,200 families or 1,200 individuals that came into the MSJC on Christmas Day. And it was truly a blessing, a lot of fun. And I think there was a gentleman there giving out $100 bills. I missed him because I was working hard, I guess, because I didn't get one. I think Commissioner Faulkner wife got one and gave it to her son.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he said Merry Christmas.
I was trying to get it.
But I was at a Rotary meeting last night with our mayor, Mayor Stu, and I think it's part of his Rotary. It's just amazing the support our community has and all the stuff that they do. And they were planning on what they're gonna do this year, just talking about the different services and how they can get involved. And I just wanna tell anyone, if you're thinking about something to do for 2024, you want something different, you wanna try something different, get involved in our community. There is so many different organizations. There is such a need to spread awareness and to spread love in our community. So check out our booklet, go to our website, the City of Temecula, and look and see where there's a need. There's a lot of organizations. I just would say get involved to make a difference in your community. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Steed?
Thank you, and I'll definitely reiterate, Commissioner Wilson, we live in such an amazing community, but there's definitely a need out there. There's so many organizations, especially coming up to the holidays time, where everybody's all in, and we're constantly being asked and to participate in all the fun things, and it's really good to do at that time of year, and it's really important. But the year continues, right, and those needs are still there, so we need to keep that in mind, to be very, very mindful of it. I can barely remember what else happened before, like yesterday, but today I remember what happened. I actually went to the Mary Phillips Senior Center. They had their New Year lunch today with the seniors, and so by 10:30 a.m. that choir was singing. There was dancing, there was food, and I had such a lovely time, and they're just adorable. And there was a 100-year-old man there that had been there, Robert, and he has been there since Mary Phillips Senior Center opened. So it was definitely a thrill to meet him, and it was great to be there and just experience that. We have an amazing community, but all the work that goes into keeping it that way, we need to stay conscious of. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Commissioner Steed. And Vice Chair Pastorian?
Thank you. First of all, it's nice to see familiar faces in the audience. So that's really nice and Happy New Year to everyone, both present and not present. Do have to remember back a ways, right? That gets harder and harder to do as I get older. The holiday season was really amazing from a REDI lens. It really embodied, you can see throughout our community, throughout the city, everywhere you went on, whether it be a place of business, a park, an outing, a dinner, whatever it was, a parade, right? We really embrace the diversity that we have within our community, and that was something that was very evident to see during the holidays, really evident. I mean, you have to live under a rock and be blind, honestly, to not have noticed it coming out everywhere you were in the city of Temecula. And that really is a testament, I want to say, to both our city council, all of the departments that come hard to work, and also to my colleagues sitting here on this commission. Being able to provide the insights that we have from that lens and provide that feedback has really started to show and develop throughout the years, and you really get to see that, at that holiday time, which, again, there's still work to be done. So the parade was absolutely fun. I won't talk about how many hands Mr. Faulkner shook.
Shoulders to hurt.
But he was inspiring because I started shaking hands. So, so we had a really good time. I think as a community, we had a really good time just getting into the spirit of what the holidays mean. And so here we are, and it's 2024, and there's a lot of work and a lot of things going on across town in the Mecca of Temecula as well. And all I can say is that I hope that everyone is refreshed, rejuvenated, inspired, motivated to continue to do the good work that we're doing. And that's not just us, but I mean us as a whole, as a community, to work the magic in their corners, right, of the impacts that they have in their circles. I think we're going to have a really great year moving forward. I think this it's going to be inspiring. Again, look for the little things that continue to keep us to move forward and stay on track. And it's going to be really great. So I'm excited. I'm excited to kick off next month with Black History Month as well. So. It's gonna be a good year.
Outstanding. Thanks, Vice Chair Pastorian. I'll just close out with a couple things. I did High Hopes, Thanksgiving High Hopes and Skip, where I went and actually sat down and fed families with special needs and adults. What an amazing time. I mean, the energy that poured back into me, I can't even match it. I can't get it from anywhere. Just being engaged in our community, letting them know they belong as well, because again, REDI encompasses everyone. And we always want to make sure there's a welcoming hand and a door that's open for every person in our community. So I had a great time there, just spending time with them and feeding them and just talking to them and just sitting in there in the space where they were was simply amazing. And then I had a chance to do a random act of kindness event that they do. I met my partners over there that I always seem to bump into everywhere I go because they're always engaged, talking about engaged in our community. So wow, they're just such a great example for everyone to follow. But that was such an amazing event, just giving back, not even asking a question, hey, here's $25, let me go shop for you, let me give you something over the holidays. You just can't beat it. I'm like, it's just inspiring. It energizes you to let you know that there's something that you can do that's bigger than yourself, and to give back and to just make time. And it doesn't take a lot of time to just make an impact in someone's life by just going and shopping and giving the $25 gift certificate and the smiles on their face. It's just amazing. The Christmas event that we did was simply outstanding. I recommend that the city council and all the commissioners to get out of those cars and walk the streets. It was amazing, just shaking hands, talking to people, singing songs with them. Just being with the people. I mean, it was such an outstanding time. And they like shaking every hand. I was running because it was cold that night too, so I need to stay warm. So shaking hands and walking was an outstanding idea. So I recommend if you, during our Christmas festival, get out and walk and talk to people, engage, because that's where we belong and that's where we should be at. And then the Christmas dinner with Commissioner Wilson was another outstanding event. My wife and my son came out with me, and we just fed and we just talked to people and engaged and just listened to them. And that's what we're called as a REDI Commission to do, to go out and engage with our community, our residents, listen to what their thoughts are, bring it back and bring advice back to the city council so we can make sure that we develop policies, processes that impact them. So just an amazing time throughout the year. So I just want to share that and just let you know we are ready so for 2024, and we will continue to engage like we've continued to stay engaged over the years that we've been established. So nothing will hinder us. No obstacle is too big to overcome or move out the way to where we can ensure we connect with our residents across the entire city of Temecula. So with that being said, Advisor Ramirez, I think we have the Executive Director's report.
Yes. Brandy?
Yes, I am here. Thank you very much, Chair Faulkner. I think I want to start first by congratulating you, Chair Faulkner, and Vice Chair Pastorian. Congratulations. You guys are going to make a great chair and vice chair team for 2024. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank former Chair Steed, Commissioner Steed. You did a fantastic job, Chair Steed, and it was a pleasure to serve alongside you for this last year. Couple of notes here, and it's interesting, Chair Faulkner, because you referenced friends in the audience, and although I am not there, I can only imagine you are speaking of the Larsons.
Yes, you were. You're right on point. You don't need to see them. You know what I was talking about.
I don't need to see them. I know exactly who you are speaking of. With respect to our presentation tonight, it was a great presentation. I was taking lots of notes. And we can absolutely, as a commission and as a city, find potential places of support and definitely generate awareness. The birthday circle was just something that I think this commission could easily support, and if we can go ahead and understand through who we can go ahead and provide that support to the youth of our community that need that support, we can definitely do that. So offline, either tomorrow or Monday, I will be reaching out to Ms. Awad with a few follow-up notes and getting all of that information back to you all. Next Monday, this upcoming Monday, is MLK Junior Day, and it is a day of service. The city is actually, through its community services department, doing a food drive and a day of service. For further information, it's actually going to be at our Welcome Center at City Hall, and I believe you can donate perishables throughout the entire week. But for more details, please do go to temeculaca.org, and I believe on the very front page you will find a press release there that will have all of the details for the day of service. Next month, we will be celebrating Black History Month. Community Services also has a whole slew of activities lined up for Black History Month. Those are also available on our website. The REDI Commission will also be providing the annual Black History Month proclamation. The proclamation program will be a little bit different this year based on council direction that we received last year, but it will just be bigger and better because we will be inviting more folks out to celebrate our proclamations with us, and we will be providing copies of the proclamation to all that request them upon request. But we're really working on expanding that invitation list now, and all of the social media will continue to happen. We will continue to advertise the proclamations as we have in the past and encourage everyone, the students, community service organizations, residents, businesses, all those who are celebrating those particular proclamations to show up not only for those proclamations, but for allies for other proclamations as well. So I'm hoping that you guys are excited about that. And then lastly, I just want to take a minute to just say thank you. It absolutely blows my mind that we are literally starting our 4th year. You guys have been through so much in the last several years in an effort to support this community. And from the bottom of my heart, just thank you for your resilience, and thank you for your patience, and thank you for your continued service to the community as we start year 4. So, Mr. Chair, that concludes my comments for tonight.
Thank you so much, Executive Director. We appreciate those comments as well. Before we adjourn, I just want to echo Commissioner Steed, amazing job 2023. So I want to make sure we give you props in regards to making sure you're leaving it well for me and Vice Chair Pistorian as we head forward. So we're going to adjourn the meeting to the next regularly scheduled REDI meeting on Thursday, February the 8th. Meeting is adjourned.